Now, it's been quite some time since the Sacramento Kings have participated in postseason basketball, and with them having a great offseason, the expectations within the organization and within the fan base for this year's Sacramento Kings team is playoffs or bust. And in my opinion, they did have a great offseason. We look at what they were able to do in this year's NBA draft. They had the 4th overall pick, and they decided to go with Keegan Murray, and I think that was a great pickup for them because he's able to come in and help them win some games immediately. And then also in free agency, I think they did a great job. They added 2 great shooters to the team, and I think this was very important for Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox with their playing styles. You must have shooters around these guys, and they added Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter. And I really love this pickup because both of these guys, they can get scorching hot at any given moment. So they had a great offseason. And we look at the Sacramento Kings, we look at how they started this season off. They started the season off 0-4, and it could have been very alarming for some fans, some people inside the organization. But for me personally, I never panicked for the Sacramento Kings because I like to look at things with perspective, and we look at this from the point of view from the Sacramento Kings. They've added 3 players to this roster that wasn't there last season, and they all have intricate roles. And those players that I'm talking about is Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, and Malik Monk. So I think when you add in 3 guys that's going to come in and play a huge role to the rotation, it takes some time to figure out, and it takes some time for the team to find that right stride with each other. Even with Domas, with Sabonis, we look at him. He was just added at the last year's NBA trade deadline, so he hasn't gotten that much time with the Sacramento Kings either. So I think they're still learning as the games go on, and we saw just how dangerous of a team they could be. We look at them over the next 8 games after they lost the first 4 of the season. They have a record of 6-2, so they're now 6-6 on the season. And you can also look at their schedule, and you can make an argument that they could be 8-4 right now. There was a couple of games where the refs didn't get the calls right, so some of those games could have been still up in the air for the Sacramento Kings, but nonetheless, they have turned the season around. They're now 6-6. I believe they're 9th in the Western Conference, and I think what's driving this new spark is their dangerous offense. Now, so far this season, this offense has been spectacular. It's been something that the Sacramento Kings could lean on, and it's kept them in a lot of close ball games. Right now, the Sacramento Kings, they're putting up 116 points per game, which is good enough for 5th in the NBA. They're also top 5 in both 3-pointers made per game and 3-point percentage. So they're getting up a lot of threes, and they're hitting them at a very high clip. And then overall offensive efficiency, they rank number 8 in the league. So this is a great offense, and it's so many different factors that allows this offense to be great. Number 1, I love their ball movement, and I love their spacing. Now, the Sacramento Kings, they have 5 guys out there on the court that can knock down the 3-point shot. So they can either go 4 out, 1 in, or at sometimes they can go 5 out. And when you have an offense that can go 5 out, that's always dangerous because it just makes it so much harder helping when you're the opposing team. So I love the spacing that this team has, and they also have great ball movement. And this one play that they've been running a lot since I've been tuning in, and I love this play because there's so many different things that the Sacramento Kings can do out of it. Now with this play, it starts with Sabonis at the top of the key. He have the basketball in his hands in the high post, and then on the strong side there will be a pin down action happening, and the guys that's usually coming off the screen is usually Kevin Huerter or Malik Monk. So they come off the screen, and the initial look is for them to get a wide open 3-point shot. Sabonis, he attracts a lot of attention wherever he is on the court, and he's a fantastic passer. So the initial look is for those 2 guys to get an easy wide open 3-point shot off. But if that doesn't work, this play has a fantastic counter. Now the great thing is about having Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, these guys are great 3-point shooters, but they also have the ability to put the ball on the floor and create for themselves and create for others playmakers. These guys are not just catch and shoot shooters. So when the wide open 3-point shot isn't there, they're able to run over to Sabonis, and then it turns into a dribble handoff that turns into a pick and roll. And I love this play so much because the guy that makes this also special is Sabonis, because this season he's showcasing just how skilled of an NBA player that he is. But when you have him in that pick and roll situation, there's so many different things he can do. He sets amazing screens. He's very strong, so his screens are effective. And when he comes off rolling hard, there's so many different things that he can do. He can roll all the way to the rim and finish strong around the basket. He can catch it on the short roll. He can rise up for a jump shot. He can put the ball on the floor, make a move, and get to the rim. He can also come off that short roll and serve as a playmaker. He has done a great job all season long, being a catalyst for this offense at times, finding guys on wide open cuts, wide open 3-point shots, just doing a great job of creating plays. And so far he's putting up some all-star game numbers. He's averaging 11 points per game, 6 assists to go along with 11 rebounds, and he's doing this while shooting 54% from the field. So Sabonis has been very impressive so far. Now, another thing that I love that I'm seeing from the Sacramento Kings offense is that they've been able to relieve some pressure from De'Aaron Fox. Everything doesn't have to be generated for him. And also, I think the coaching staff can be more than comfortable with putting him on the bench, because there's guys in the game that's still allowing the offense to flow. And one guy, we just talked about him, Sabonis, he allows for the Sacramento Kings to do that. And then also two guys that they picked up this offseason, Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. Now, I think the perfect analogy for Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk is that both of these guys are double-edged swords. Now, we look at the primary reason to why they were brought to the Sacramento Kings is for the simple fact that they can knock down the 3-point shot at a high clip. And we talked about in the beginning of the video how important that is to have around Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, because they attract so much attention on the offensive side of the ball. It's almost a must to have guys who can knock down 3-point shots surrounding them, and the Sacramento Kings have done that with Huerter and Malik Monk. But another great thing about these guys is that they add another element to the offense, and that's simply being able to put the basketball on the floor and run the offense. Both of these guys have the skill set to do that, and this is why I say when De'Aaron Fox doesn't have the ball in his hands, or when he's not in the game, the Kings, they can be comfortable for that duration because they have some guys that can continue to keep that offense flowing. And when you look at Monk and Huerter, these guys actually have very similar skill sets and very similar playing styles. I feel like they both excel at knocking down perimeter jump shots off the catch, off the dribble, from the 3-point line, from the mid-range area. They do a great job at that. They both have a very decent handle on the basketball, and they can operate the pick and roll. They're crafty enough to set up their teammates, and they're both decent finishers around the rim. So I think these guys are very close in terms of skill set and playing style, and they've also been productive this season. Kevin Huerter, he's putting up 16 points per game, and Malik Monk, who I feel like has gotten off to a very slow start this season, he's still putting up 12 points per game, and I don't think we've seen his best basketball just yet. So these two guys have been great for the Kings, and I've also have to show love to Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray. Both of those guys are averaging double figures. Harrison Barnes scoring 11 a game, and Keegan Murray scoring 13 points per game. And the Kings, they actually have 6 guys in double figures. We talked about 5 of them. The one guy that we haven't talked about is De'Aaron Fox, and he's actually the highest scorer on the team as of right now, and he's putting up a crazy 25 points per game to go along with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. And what's so impressive to me is that he's been so efficient this far this season. As a point guard, he's shooting 54% from the field. Now, I think this is going to be the year that De'Aaron Fox finally becomes an all-star, and we look at him, he's the best player on the Sacramento Kings. He's the main catalyst of this offense, and I think this year is going to be the best version of De'Aaron Fox that we've seen so far. When you take in leadership and mentality, he just seemed very focused, and he just seems like he wants to win ball games this year. And then also, he's just been playing great. There's been times this season where he's looked unstoppable. He's been getting it done in the clutch, and he just excels at so many different aspects on the offensive side of the ball. He's very dangerous in transition. He's also dangerous in the half court. He can score in isolation. His bag is very deep. He can shoot it from the mid-range area. And my favorite thing about De'Aaron Fox is that he never settles. He doesn't take ill-advised threes because he knows that's not a strong suit of his game. So he never settles for a three. He gets a good mid-range look, or he gets all the way to the rim. And back to his three-point shooting, he's actually done a pretty good job so far. He's shooting 37% from the field, and that's because whenever he takes a three, it's a good shot. So I love that about De'Aaron Fox, and I think he's the main catalyst of the Sacramento Kings offense. It all starts at the top with him, and now they have a lot of intricate parts that makes them a very dangerous offensive machine. So right now, I think the Sacramento Kings, I think these guys are still building chemistry. I think they're still figuring each other out, and I think once that happens, this offense is going to get even more dangerous. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.